This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last session, we have discussed about the Cubable Apex and how can we implement the Cubable classes in order to overcome the drawbacks of future methods we have discussed. And now we see the schedule programming. So what exactly the schedule programming? What is the use? How can we schedule a class to be get run on the periodical intervals? So how to schedule the Apex classes based on some specific time period? Now let's see practically in this case. As of now, we have prepared so many Apex classes, batch classes also, future methods also, and we have prepared some Cubable Apex classes also. We have invoked those classes manually. We have invoked those methods manually. By invoking that methods, by creating the object of those respective classes from the execute anonymous window. From the execute anonymous window, so we have invoked those methods manually. But in some cases, I don't want to invoke those Apex classes manually. I want to make those classes to be get run on based on some periodical intervals. That means I would like to execute that Apex class, or I would like to execute that batch job every day morning at 2 o'clock, or every day evening at 7 o'clock, or every Saturday and Sunday morning at 1 o'clock, like that, based on some periodical intervals. So based on some periodical intervals, if you want to invoke any class or any job, then we can go with that schedule programming. This is also called as schedule Apex. That means through Apex programming, we can able to schedule a class or a job to be get run on periodical intervals. It may be daily, it may be weekly, it may be monthly or quarterly, whatever, anything depends upon your requirement. So in this case, in order to schedule an Apex class to be run on periodical intervals, we are using schedule programming or schedule Apex. For example, assume that I have a class. I have a public class. Public class like as some accounts helper. It's a normal class. Inside this, I have a method. Public static void delete old accounts. Delete old accounts. Here I have written some business logic. Here I have written some business logic to delete the old records. Okay. To delete the old records which are older than 30 days. Which are older than 30 days. The records which are older than 30 days, those records I would like to remove. Now, so now I want to execute this particular method. Okay, I would like to execute this method every day in morning at 2 o'clock. Every day morning at 2 o'clock, I want to do this. Generally, executing this class or executing this method morning at 2 o'clock is very difficult because it's not a productive time. It's not an office time also. Suppose, for example, if you're working in a night shift, then we can able to execute that method every day morning at 2 o'clock. But sometimes you may be off, you may be in a vacation. So at that time, who will take care of that responsibility? I want to run this particular method every day morning at 2 o'clock, including Saturday and Sundays also. Then how can we do that? What needs to be done? In this case, instead of invoking this class manually, we can able to make it scheduled. With the help of schedule programming, we can able to make this class to be get scheduled, to be get run on periodical intervals based on the requirement. Then how can we schedule an Apex class? Whenever if you want to schedule an Apex class, then we have to use an interface called as system.schedulable interface. We have to use an interface. We have to use an interface called as system.schedulable interface. Like as batchable, queuable, like the similar way we have to use schedulable interface. So what is the use of this schedulable interface? When coming to schedulable interface, this schedulable interface is having the method which it is having the capability to run based on the periodical intervals which we have set. What are the timings that were set? Based on the timings, it can able to execute some piece of code. That facility is available. So in this case, how can we use this system.schedulable interface? Now let's see it practically in this case. Let's see that. How can we implement this one? Now, so now let's see how can we do that. Whenever if you want to execute a particular class or a particular job based on the periodical intervals, we have to use the help of an interface called a system.schedulable interface. Now, in this case, how can we implement this one? For that one, is an interface. System.schedulable is an interface. So definitely we have to implement this interface into a class. Definitely, first of all, we have to implement this interface into a class, and then in this interface, whatever the methods are available, for those methods we have to provide that implementation part. Then how can we do that? Now let me explain practically. For example, so this is the class which I would like to invoke based on some periodical intervals. Now, then how can we do that? Now let me explain practically this case. For that one, as a step one, create a global class, create a separate class. So now just to forget about this actual class which you would like to invoke, we have to create one separate global class. We have to create a separate global class which should be implemented. Which should be implemented by an interface system.schedulable. So we have to create a global class which should be implemented by the interface system.schedulable interface. Now, so we have to prepare that syntax. I'm preparing the global class. We can specify the class. Implements system.schedule. We can write the now. In this case, here you know that as a step 2, whenever you are implementing any interface inside your class, if the interface contains any methods, then we have to provide the implementation for those methods. Then what is the methods that we have inside this interface? When coming to this schedulable interface, we have only one method that is called as execute. Okay, we have only one method that is called as execute. So we have to provide the implementation for the interface methods. So we have to provide the implementation for the interface methods. Then provide the implementation for the interface. We are having only one method is available inside this interface, that is called as execute. Now, inside this class, we have to provide the implementation. Provide the implementation. Global void execute. This is the method that we have inside this schedulable interface. There is a ready-made method is available, that is execute. For this method, we have to provide the implementation part. Now, so now this method is having one parameter that is called as system.schedulable context. System.schedulable. I'm giving the reference name as yes context. I'm giving the reference name as yes context. So once the class has been getting prepared, that means in order to schedule this class, forget about the actual class which you would like to schedule. Forget about this. We have to create one separate class. Okay, we have to create one separate global class, so which should be implemented by the system.schedulable interface. And then, so now we have to implement this interface into this class, and then in this interface we have one method called as execute method. For that execute method, we have to provide the implementation part. So we have to write the implementation code for this. So which is having one parameter called as system.schedulable context. Now, inside this method, okay, inside this method, we have to write the business logic. That means write the code to invoke that class. Write the code to invoke the class. Whatever the class that you would like to invoke, write the code to invoke this class inside this. Okay, write the code to invoke this class. For example, this is the class I would like to invoke. This is the method I would like to invoke. So class name dot method name we have to write inside this. That means in order to invoke this normal class, whatever the way that we are using from the execute anonymous window, the same way of execution we can able to write inside this execute method. And as a step 3, schedule the global class. Schedule the global class as below. Schedule the global class as below. That means, so whatever the class, global class that you have prepared right now, just schedule that global class. Then how can we schedule? Now let's see. Go to the setup menu. Go to the build menu in the left panel. Go to the develop Apex classes. Go to that Apex classes. In that one, you will be having a button called as click on schedule Apex button. Click on schedule Apex button. Enter the schedule job name. Select the schedulable class. Select the schedulable class by using lookup icon. By using this lookup icon, select the schedulable class and then select the frequency of interval. Select the frequency of interval. That means either daily or weekly or depends upon your requirement. We can able to select that frequency of interval. Next, select the start date and the end date for the schedule. That means from which date to which date you would like to run. Okay, daily or weekly or whatever, anything. From which date to which date you would like to run this schedule. This is the recurring interval. Okay, this recurring interval should be till how long time it has to be get run. Till next 4 months, till next 5 months, till next 8 months, or till next 2 years, or what? We can specify that the recurring interval. And select the preferred start time. Select the preferred start time from the list. That means at what time you would like to run this particular job over. Okay, what time you would like to run this particular job. Now, you want to run either morning at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock, or it may be evening, or when you would like to run. Specify that the time period, preferred start time, and then click on OK. Click on OK. So now we have to go to that schedule Apex button in order to schedule that Apex job. Whatever the job that we have created, we have to make it schedule based on the periodical intervals. For that one, we are using the schedule Apex button. Through this schedule Apex button, we can able to schedule your Apex job as well. Now, so in this case, we have to select that schedulable class. That means whatever the class, the global class that you prepared right now, which has been implemented by the system that schedulable interface, select this schedule class and then make it schedule based on the required intervals. It may be daily, weekly, monthly. We can specify that, and then from which date to which date you would like to continue this recurring interval, and what will be your preferred start time. At what time you want to like to run this job, we can specify. So now given this case, once you have specified that one, then we can able to track as a step 4. Okay, track or monitor that. Monitor the job, scheduling jobs. So whatever the scheduled jobs are available, we can able to track. That means whether it has been run on based on that scheduling or not. So now, what is the next scheduling time? Okay, how can we track this information? For that one, we can go to the setup menu, go to the monitor menu in the left panel, go to the jobs, and we have an option called as schedule Apex. There is an option called as schedule Apex job. Nothing but schedule jobs option is available. So from there we can able to track. Okay, from there we can able to track whether the jobs has been run or not. If it has been run, at what time it has been run, and then what is the next scheduling time, it will be tracked. We can track everything inside this monitor option. So we have to prepare a global class, and then we have to provide the implementation for that interface methods, and we have to schedule it, and we have to monitor that. These are the 4 simple steps we need to follow in order to implement the schedule program. Now let's see how can we schedule an Apex class. Now let me explain practically. Let's go with the practical part. Let's take a small use case. Let's take a small use case. Let me explain the requirement first, then I will show you the practical. For example, assume that I'm having the position object inside my organization. I'm having the position. We have so many position records are available inside my organization, which are having the various details. Let me place those details. I want to place not only the requirement name, I want to specify the reference ID, location of that position, and then milestone date, and the maximum budget, number of vacancies, and then position status, and then HR hiring manager person. These are the details I would like to represent. Now, so we are having this position details are available. Almost some 11 positions are available inside my project. So now, for example, assume that we are having Naukri. So we are having Naukri portal. In the Naukri, any of the job portal, keep on, so many companies are going to be uploading some new jobs every day. Every day, for every half an hour, for every minute, they're going to keep on posting the various jobs information. So now, whenever they're posting the job, for each and every job, they're giving some specific time period. That means open date will be the current date, nothing but on the date when they have posted the job, that will be the open date. Milestone date is what they're giving some 1 week of time or 1 month of time also max, or 20 days of time also, 2 weeks of time also, depends upon the position requirement or the criticality of the position. So they're giving that milestone date also. Now, in this meantime, so many candidates are going to be applying for the position. HR people will be screening those profiles, they will conduct some interviews, they will be closing the positions by recruiting the candidates. So in this case, what about those jobs information which has been closed? Do I need to still maintain inside my Naukri portal? No, because those jobs are not required. Those information is not required, those positions are already closed. So why unnecessarily I need to maintain all those jobs information which are already closed, which are not required right now? Then what we can do in this case? In this case here, when coming to the job portal, they would like to run a job. Okay, they would like to run a scheduled job. Every day morning, it will be running over here. It will verify what are the jobs are available, which has been closed. Those jobs information will be removing from the table automatically. They are going to be removing those closed jobs information. What are the jobs has been closed, which has been recruited, the candidates, those jobs information they are going to be removing from that the object, from that database. Because those jobs are already closed, those jobs are no more right now. So that no need to show those jobs information, so that they're removing from that, so that they can able to get some space in that one, some new jobs information they can able to store. This is how they are going to be keep on cleaning that information. They keep on cleaning the database also. Whatever the unnecessary data is there, they are going to be keep on cleaning that unnecessary data. They would like to remove. Now, like the similar way here also, I would like to talk. For example, let me explain one more scenario. For example, assume that I'm having my Gmail account. In my Gmail account, I'm receiving so many email notifications every day from different organizations regarding some different information, regarding credit cards, personal loans, okay, health insurance, it may be anything, whatever. Some important emails also. Whatever the important emails are there, I would like to place them inside the inbox. Remaining, I'm removing those emails. Unnecessary emails I'm removing from my inbox. So the deleted emails will go where? Those deleted emails are going to be placing inside the trash folder or the bin folder. So then how long time those deleted emails will be available inside the trash? For 30 days. 30 days. So till 30 days of those deleted emails will be available inside the trash folder. So once that email is older than 30 days, automatically, so now the Gmail people are removing the email from my trash folder also. Without giving any prior notification to me, they are going to be removing automatically. That means what? Every day morning, a job will be running on that Gmail server. So which is going to keep on verifying, on all the users' accounts, whatever the emails are available inside that trash folder, which are older than 30 days. Okay, which are older than 30 days, those emails it is removing automatically from the trash folder without giving any prior notification. Now, like the similar way here also, I want to implement the same functionality. So now every day I'm keep on posting some new positions information. And some positions are already over, nothing but milestone date is over. Okay. For example, when you open this position over here, Okay, when you open this position. Now, Oracle ADF developer. What is the milestone date for this position? Open date is okay February 28, and then milestone date is March 30th. Nothing but this position is already over. Milestone date is already over. So I want to find out these kind of positions, and then these positions I want to remove every day automatically. I don't want to remove this one. I don't want to find out this one. I want to remove automatically. For that one, I want to schedule a job inside my organization. I want to schedule a job which will be running every day morning at 1 o'clock. Every day morning at 1 o'clock, it has to run a job. Because here, every day morning 12 o'clock, date will be getting changed. Date will be getting changed. So that here, once a date has been changed, then whatever the email, whatever the positions are available, which are older than, whose milestone date is over. Okay, whose milestone date is over, I would like to collect those position records. I would like to remove. I don't want to remove those emails manually. I don't want to set. I want to make it automated process here. Then how can we do this? Now tell me your approach here. How can we achieve this? Tell me your approach. I want to find out the jobs or the positions, okay, whose milestone date is over. Okay, whose milestone date is over. I want to collect those kind of positions, and I want to remove those positions from my object. Every day I would like to track like that.
So Firoz, by using SOQL queries, we can track that.
Okay.
By collecting those records, placing
So
in a
can we
collection.
Suppose if I'm having some millions of records inside this plan, comparing each and every position's dates with the today's date is very, very difficult, right?
Okay. So basing on position status, suppose if the milestone date has been crossed, then the position status will get automatically closed. Basing on that position status also, we can do that.
Okay. How?
So we
Wherever the
give
position
in the where
status is
clause,
closed.
Feroz, in the where clause, can we give milestone date is greater less than current date minus 30 days?
Then in this case, what needs to be done? We need to check the date for each and every record, right? That will be a typical process, right? If you're having some 10 records or 1,000 records, then fine. If you're having some millions of records, then comparing each and every position records milestone date with today's date, it will be time-taking process.
Then basing on position status, Firoz, basing on position status, if position status is closed, so collecting those records and placing in a collection and using that delete query, we can delete those records.
Okay. Now, position status may not be changed. They have closed the position, nothing but they have recruited that. They might have not changed that position status also. I'm not depending on the position status over here. Now, I would like to take that position milestone date simply.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, we can prepare a batch class where we can fetch the in start method. We can fetch the data from the SOQL query, where we can keep the condition as milestone date is less than today's date, and then we can write the business logic in execute method to delete that, and then after we can schedule that batch program.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking here. I'm explaining about that. So checking the condition on the date, it will take some time, right? So do we have any option that we can do some operation in configuration part at least?
We can prepare a formula field to calculate the date.
Okay.
Milestone date is less, then we can prepare a formula field for that, and we can check the directly condition on that formula field.
Right. So in this case, what we can do, in this case, whether this position record can be removable or not. For that one, I would like to have an indication about it. So in this case, what needs to be done is, instead of writing everything inside the development, I want to use the help of configuration also, so that I would like to make my job simplified. I would like to reduce the complexity inside my application. So for that one, what I want to do is, I would like to create a formula field inside my object. In this object, I would like to create a formula field. Now, through that formula, I want to indicate whether this position record can be removable or not. Now, I would like to have a checkbox kind of formula field over here. I would like to have a checkbox kind of formula field inside this, which will be indicating whether this position can be removed or not. So in this case, what I want to do is, if the position's milestone date is less than today's date, okay, the position's milestone date is less than today's date. That means if it is the older one, okay, if it is the older one, the milestone date is already over. Then I want to make that checkbox to be get selected. I would like to have a small checkbox over here. Is delete? Can you delete or not? For example, I would like to have a field, a checkbox field with the help of can delete. Whether this position can be deleted or not. I would like to have a checkbox indication. Suppose if the position's milestone date is already over, it's already past the date, then I want to make this checkbox to be get selected. So this can be done through the configuration itself. So in this case here, now it is going to be selecting the checkbox automatically, and then inside my batch job, okay, I would like to write some code which will be querying only those position records of whose checkbox has been selected. Whose the checkbox has been selected. If you collect those position records, it will be removing automatically. So that here I am going to be using two things. One is a formula field, second one is a batch job, and then I want to make that batch job to be scheduled, so that it will be running on every day morning at 2 o'clock. So these are the three steps we need to do. First of all, I would like to create a formula field inside my object. So let me create the formula field which is going to be calculating that, okay, whether this position record can be removable or not. Now, let me create that formula field which is of type checkbox, which will be a checkbox indication. If the position's milestone date is still available, that means it is having some more time, then that should not be deleted over. Now, let me place that formula field.
Firoz,
Yes.
in this scenario, you're saying delete, whether it is an hard delete or normal delete. Suppose
Normal
this
delete
okay.
Normal delete. Okay, if you want to do the hard delete, after deleting that record, we can able to remove completely by using database start empty recycle bin method.
Okay.
So now here I would like to use that formula field. I'm creating a formula field as a step one. I'm creating a formula field. So I'm indicating that position record can delete or not. Position record can delete or not. So now here I'm indicating that I would like to use this data return type as checkbox. I'm going to be indicating like as checkbox. This is the checkbox type of formula field which I'm indicating. I'm creating that, which will be indicating whether this position record can be removable or not. Now click on next. Now here I'm verifying the condition over. Okay, I'm verifying the condition. Now I'm using this if condition. Now if the positions today's date, nothing but today's date, is greater than milestone date. Milestone date, what is the field name? We are having the positions of milestone date field is available. Milestone. If the today's date, nothing but to get the today's date, we are using the today function. If the today's date is greater than milestone date, okay, I want to indicate that true or else false. That means what? Whenever if the today's date is greater than milestone date, that means if the milestone date of the position is crossed, it is already a past date, then I want to return the value true. That means the checkbox has to be get selected or else checkbox will be unselected. For that one, I'm using the condition if today's date is greater than the milestone date, then I'm returning the value true and the false, because this is the if condition. If condition will be having that condition over here. If the condition is satisfied, it returns true, or else it returns false. Now, check the syntax. No, there is no mistakes in the syntactical error. There is no syntactical errors available. Let's go to that next button. Now click on next. Make it save. Okay, make it safe. So now here in this case, now we have created one formula field, so which will be indicating a checkbox, so which is indicating whether the position records can be removable or not. Now, let's refresh this user interface. Now it is indicating here the position record can be deleted or not. Yes, because what? Now the milestone data of the position is already crossed. It is March 30 only, but today's date is like as a May 13th. So it is already crossed, so that here this position record can be removable. So in this case, it is indicating that. So now here I would like to prepare this. So now in this case, for all the position records, it is indicating that information as well. Now let me place that. So let me place these fields. I would like to place that field also. Position record can delete or not. Now. So now here it is indicating that position record can be deleted or not. Here. Now it is indicating this information. Now, in this case, it is having this information is available here. So now when you observe this position records over here, now here 3, 6, so this can be deleted over here. This position record also can remove. This position record also can remove. This also can remove. This also can remove here. So now this position also can remove. This position also can remove. So that it is indicating clearly here which position record has to be get. And then, so once it is indicating that, because the formula will be automatically recalculating. Every day, once a date has been changed, formula will be getting recalculated automatically inside the database. We no need to do any additional thing that will be taking care by Salesforce. So from our end, okay, we've done most of the job. That means here which job, which position has to be removed, it is clearly indicating to me. That's it. We no need to do any calculation. We no need to do any operations. It will be clearly indicating that that operation will be done by the Salesforce itself. Now simply what I need to do, whatever the position records are available, who the checkbox has been selected, I want to remove those records. That's it. My job is very, very simple. Now, for that one, I would like to create a batch job right now. As a step 2, I need to create a batch job. Let me create a batch job. But close the positions job. Batch job. I'm indicating that purging is nothing but deleting. So now here purge, close the positions of batch job. I'm creating a batch job with the name purge, close the positions batch job. So I would like to create this a batch class over. So you know how to implement the batch class. So I'm going to making this class as global, which will be implemented by an interface called as database start batchable interface. Database start batchable of a subject. So inside that we have the 3 methods are available as usual, the same concept, no change at all. So now I'm indicating global database start query locator start method, which is having the parameter database start batchable context. And the second global database start with the white execute method, which is having the parameter database start batchable context. And then list of records. List of a subject regards to process. Third method, global wide finish, which is having a parameter database dot batchable context. So now these are the three methods are available inside my batch job. So now in this particular start method, I would like to collect whatever the position records are available. Okay, whatever the position records are available. Okay, whose status, whose checkbox has been selected. Based on this formula field, I would like to collect this information. So now what is my field name? My field name is position record can delete or not. Okay, this is the position record can delete or not. This is the checkbox is available. So based on this, I would like to collect all the position records. Okay, whose checkbox has been selected. That means whose checkbox value is equals to true. So collect those position records and then divide them to the various small batches. Pass each and every batch to execute method, which will be removing those records from your object. Now, so for that reason, I'm going to indicate this. Now I'm collecting that. I'm preparing a query string positions. I would like to collect the position records information, select the ID of the position, name of the position, and then the field name. What is that field name? Position records can delete or not. The position record can delete. From position __ C, where position record can delete equals to true. Whatever the position records are available, whose checkbox has been selected. Position record can delete checkbox has been selected. I'm collecting only those position records, and then I would like to store them inside the temporary memory, and from that I would like to divide them to the various small batches. So for that one, I'm going to be executing this query by using database.get query locator. Database.get query locator method. I'm passing this position score. So whatever the records have been getting returned by this particular records, those records will be placing inside the temporary memory, and that temporary memory starting address will be returning to that query locator class, which will be dividing the record to various small pieces called as batches. I'm returning that memory address. So I'm collecting all the position records whose checkbox has been selected. Okay, whose checkbox is equals to true. And once the position records has been getting divided to the various small batches, each and every batch records will be passing to that execute method. Now the execute method is going to be executing those operations, and which will be removing those records from that database. Now, so now here in this case it is indicating this. So now I would like to collect the position records. Now each and every batch record will be passing to the execute method to remove those records from the object. So those records will be coming into the collection, that is records to process. I want to verify if this collection is empty or not. If the collection is not empty, that means if the collection is having some records, then I would like to convert them into my own type. So now here this is the subject type of element over here. I want to convert them into my own type. That means here we have to collect those records. Records to process. Records to process. This is list of a subject. I want to convert them into my position type over here. For that one, I'm going to do that explicit typecasting. List of position. I'm converting into that list of position. I'm not only converting each and every record, the whole collection I'm going to be converting typecasting in one shot over. So we can store inside this list of position __ C positions to. I'm going to be creating a collection. So now here in this case, whatever the position records are available. So whatever the position records are available here, inside my records to process, this will be available in the form of list of subject, list of a subject type. So now here I am going to be converting them into my own type by using explicit typecasting. All these position records I am going to be explicitly typecasting in one shot over here. Now, so once the records are available, then I would like to delete those records. So that I am going to be using database.delete, and then I am going to be removing those records. I am going to be deleting those records. So by using this delete method, we can able to remove those records also. Whatever the records are available inside that batch, those records are removing by using database.delete method. If you want to allow the partial processing mechanism, then we can able to allow the partial processing mechanism also. We can able to track those results also. Which records has been deleted, which records are undeleted, everything we can track. Database.delete result. We can track those things. So whatever the records has been deleted, these records are going to be storing inside the recycle bin. If you want to remove those records from the recycle bin also, then we can able to go with that database.empty recycle bin. Okay, database.empty recycle bin of that list of this object also, so that we can able to remove those records from that object. So whatever the records you have removed, those records we can able to, those record IDs we can collect, and then we can able to remove those records from your database from the recycle bin also. The facilities are available. Now, so now here in this case, I'm going to be removing this position record from my object. After that, if you want to send any email notification, then you can able to send the email notification also. That facility is available to you. So in this case, how can we send the email notification so that we can able to track the status of this batch job over here? How to track the status of the batch job? Already you know that concept. Now, system.debug batch job ID is, I would like to indicate that batchable context dot get a job ID. And I would like to collect that status of my batch job. Async apex job details equals to select the ID of the batch job, status of the batch job, and the total job items processed, number of errors, created by that email from async apex job, where ID equals to batchable context dot get a job ID. Batchable context dot get a job ID. So now once the batch job has been getting executed, I'm collecting the status of a batch job. So that here I'm making a query to the async apex job object, and then I'm making a query. I'm collecting the details of my batch job. I'm collecting the ID of the batch job and the status, total number of job items, number of batches processed by Salesforce, number of failed batches created by email, everything I would like to track this information. This whole information we can able to send to the people through email notification over here. So now for that email notification, already I'm having a class called as messaging utility helper. Okay, there is a class is available, messaging utility helper, that already we have prepared over here. So now here in this case, I would like to send that information to that particular people. Now I'm going to be invoking this method, messaging utility helper dot send batch job status notification. Send batch job status notification. So now what is the job info? That is nothing but job details. I'm passing this one along with the job name. What is the job name? My batch job name is purge closed positions batch job. I'm passing this. Instead of writing the email notification code, I'm using the same email notification code over here. Because here also we are passing the details of my batch job results. Now it is collecting all this information. It is sending the email notification to me. Along with that, Yamini also receiving one email notification. And then we are having that one more person is also available. He is also receiving the email notification over here. All these three people will be receiving the email notification over here. Now, so now as a best practice here, I'm removing this email notification over the email IDs, because I'm going to be scheduling this job for 2 years, so that every day you will be getting one email notification unnecessarily. I'm removing your email IDs. So now here in this case. So now I am going to be collecting this information and then I'm sending the email notification to the people through the email notification with the help of single email message class. Now, so let me save my batch class. Now let's schedule this batch job. That means here it has to run this batch job every day morning at 1 o'clock. Every day morning at 1 o'clock, I want to schedule this batch job. Then how can we do this one? Whenever if you want to schedule any class, a normal class also, a batch class also, anything, we have to create a separate class. We have to create a separate class which should be implemented by an interface called a system.schedulable interface. Now let me prepare that class. I'm preparing one separate class. Now I'm indicating the purge closed positions schedule job. I'm indicating that name as purge closed positions schedule job. This is the class name which I'm providing over here because in order to schedule this, the batch job, I'm preparing the schedule class. We have to prepare this scheduling class, make that class as global. Okay, make that class as global. Now this class should be implemented by an interface called as system.schedulable interface. The system.schedulable interface. So we have to implement this interface into your class. So whenever we are implementing one interface into the class, then as part of object-oriented programming principles, what is the fundamental rule? We have to provide the implementation for this interface methods inside this class. That means implements. That means here I am assuring, I am giving that the information to that Apex compiler. I am taking care of the responsibility of providing the implementation, nothing but body of the function for this interface methods inside my class. So inside my schedulable interface, we have only one method is available, that is called as execute. So we have to provide the implementation. Global void execute. In this execute method, it is having a parameter here. What is that parameter? System.schedulable context. System.schedulable context. And here we can able to invoke that class. Which class you want to invoke? It may be a normal class or it may be a batch class, anything, whatever you want. We can invoke this one. For that one, here, what is that batch class? Here is the batch class we would like to invoke. How to invoke the batch class generally? We are invoking by creating the object of the class and then by using the database.execute batch method. Now, write the code to invoke the batch class. Invoke the batch class. Now here I'm creating this batch class object. Now the positions batch equals to new the purge close the positions batch. I'm creating the object of the batch class. I'm invoking database.execute batch. I'm going to be passing this batch class object name along with the batch size as some file. That's it. Over. So this is my scheduling class over. We have prepared a separate class, okay, which should be a global class, which is used to schedule. Now we are going to scheduling this class right now. If I'm scheduling this class, then based on that scheduling time, based on that scheduling interval, internally here it will be invoking this execute method. Execute method is going to be invoking this actual batch class, which will run internally, so which will be performing your operation. This is the internal concept. Now, so once the scheduled job is ready, nothing but scheduled class is ready. Prepare the schedule class, which should be implemented by an interface called a system.schedulable interface, and then provide the implementation for that execute method, and then we are going to be writing the code to invoke that batch class. It may be a batch class, it may be a normal class, anything we can able to invoke that. That facility is available. Now, so once this scheduling class is ready, then we have to make it schedule. Now here that I have given these steps over. As a step one, create a global class. Okay, that means a schedule class which should be implemented by that system.schedulable interface. And then as a step two, provide the implementation for this particular execute method. Then as a step three, we need to schedule this global class right now. How can we schedule this global class? Now let's see practically in this class. Let's go to that your Salesforce instance. Go to the build menu. Go to the develop Apex classes. Here we are having that button called as schedule apex button is available. There is a button called as schedule apex button. There is a button called as schedule apex button. Now click on this schedule apex button. Now schedule your apex classes. For that one, specify the job name. Okay, give the job. I'm indicating the job name as purge closed positions schedule job. I'm giving the job name as purge closed positions, okay, schedule job. Now select the apex class. Click on this lookup icon. Once you click on this lookup icon, it is populating the apex classes. So now it is not populating all the apex classes. It is populating only those apex classes which has been implemented by the interface system.schedulable. All the apex classes it won't provide. It is providing only those apex classes which has been implemented by the interface system.schedulable interface. Now, so select that class over here. Click on this lookup icon. It is populating only those apex classes which has been implemented by the interface system.schedulable interface. Now, select this class. This is the class which you have prepared right now. Purge closed position schedule job, which has been implemented by the system.schedulable interface. Now, select that class and then select the frequency of interval. Depends upon your requirement. I want to run this job every Sunday and every Wednesday and every Friday. For example, weekly 3 times. Okay, weekly 3 times I want to run. Or every day morning if you want to run. Depends upon your requirement, we can select that every day. Or if it is monthly, if you want to run, then you can specify the monthly over here. Depends upon your requirement. I want to run weekly 3 times over here, or else every day. Every day morning I want to run this job over here. Okay, every day, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday up to Saturday. Every day it will be running my job here. From which date to which date, start date and then end date. Now, by default it is giving 1 month of time to you. Okay, by default it is giving 1 month. That means here, so now May 12th to June 12th. But not only here till June 12th, 2020, I want to run till 2022. I'm selecting that 2022 till June 23rd. Nothing but for the next 2 years. I want to run this particular batch job, okay, scheduled job every day for next 2 months over here. Now, at what time you want me to run? So now select the preferred start time. So now here we can select the start time over here. Either morning at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, like till night 11 o'clock. It depends upon your requirement. I want to run this job every day morning at 2 o'clock. Every day morning at 2 o'clock, I want to run this job, and then it has to get run. It has to collect those position records whose milestone date is over. Those records has to be get run. Now click on save it. So now my job has been scheduled. Okay, now my job has been scheduled. Then how can we verify which jobs has been scheduled over here? Now let's see. So if you want to verify that, nothing but as a third step, we have scheduled the job, batch jobs. Any class here, we can schedule it. Then how can we track which jobs are unscheduling? We can verify that. We can go to the monitor menu. You are having the jobs. We have scheduled jobs. Okay, there is an option called as scheduled jobs option is available. Click on scheduled jobs, and here we can able to see. There is a job has been scheduled over here. Get purge closed positions a scheduled job which has been scheduled by the so and so person over here on so and so date and so and so time. Next scheduled run time. The scheduled run time will be so now 5:13 every early morning at 2 o'clock. So which is the schedule apex class. Now, once the specific time is up, then automatically this job will be getting run by placing inside the apex queue, and the details are going to be writing inside that async apex job, and from there your batch job is going to be collecting the details, status of those details. It will send the email notification automatically by default over here. So based on the specific scheduling time, it is going to be running that. Once the scheduling time has been run, then it is preparing the next schedule. It is preparing the next schedule over here. Like as once the 13th it has done, it will prepare the next schedule will be that 14th. Okay, 14th early morning at 2 o'clock. On the 14th, that's if it has run, it will prepare the next schedule 15th of that morning 2 o'clock. Like the keep on, it is going to be preparing the recurring intervals also over here. This is how we are going to be scheduling your jobs. That means it may be apex class, it may be batch class, anything we can able to schedule. Now, here one small point, please
Sir,
remember this
can
one
we
small
use
point.
future methods in this?
Sorry?
Can we use future method in that job?
Future method? Could you
We
repeat
have
the question?
delete position job class, right? Batchable class.
Okay.
In that, can I use future method?
Future methods we no need to use
Actually,
because that is also going into the queue again, right? Because already batch job is in the queue. So then why again we can able to use that queueable, the future methods?
In that case, on schedule time, if any error occurred, so that we can use future method. Right?
No, not required. Because future method also going to be placing inside the queue and the batch job is already there in the queue, then why we need to use that unnecessarily? We don't need to make that requirement complex. Okay.
I
Now,
mean, daily this job will run at 2 o'clock. Also.
yes. Now,
By that time, if the Salesforce is downstairs, in that case, what will happen?
so now in this case here it is going to be executing. That's what here, whenever we are going to be scheduling this particular job at 2 o'clock, during that time if the Salesforce server is busy, then it is going to be running whenever Salesforce resources becomes available. Whenever resources becomes available, then only it will run over here. Now let me show you that. For example, when you try to schedule any of that class, now it is indicating that here, clearly it is indicating that message to you. Exact start time will be depends on the job queue activity. Based on the Salesforce resources that becomes available, it will be executing the job. Suppose I'm scheduling the job at 2 o'clock. During the 2 o'clock, suppose if the Salesforce server is busy, then your job will be getting awaited for a few minutes, and after that, whenever resources becomes available, Salesforce will execute that job automatically. Till that time, that will be placing inside the queue. That means by 2 o'clock, your batch scheduled job will run. That will be pushing your batch class into the queue automatically. Whenever resources becomes available, it will be executing that batch class. Okay. Now, here one small point, let me explain. Once the scheduled one, so any of the batch class has been getting scheduled. Suppose, for example, this is the batch class which I have scheduled over, which is on scheduling, which is going to be running based on some periodical interval. Once a class has been scheduled, in this class you can't perform any modifications. You can't do any modifications inside this class. Whenever a job or whenever a class has been scheduled, and that scheduled class we can't do any modifications. First of all, remove the scheduling, make the changes inside that, do the proper testing, then only make it rescheduled. Okay. Now, like for example, suppose for example, when you try to do some modifications inside this, I'm going to be adding. For example, I'm writing one additional line. So now that job status. I'm writing one additional code. Job details start status. Now, so now here I'm going to save this one. Now it is indicating that message to me. Okay, it is indicating that message to me over the problems. Now this schedulable class has jobs pending or in progress, so it won't allow. That means what? When coming to this particular class, which is already scheduled, it is waiting inside that scheduling, so you can't do any modification. You can't modify any code inside this. If you want to do any modifications inside this class, first of all, remove the scheduling over there and then do the required changes inside the class, save the class code, test the class code, then we can make that rescheduling. This is the process we have to follow whenever if you want to schedule this. Okay. So that here, whatever the classes or whatever the batch classes or jobs has been scheduled, on those scheduled jobs, on those scheduled classes, we can't make any changes inside this code. That is the fundamental principle. Okay. Now, so whenever the specific time is up, then automatically my job will be getting pushing into the queue, and from there, based on the first come first serve order, nothing but FIFO order, first in first serve order over here. Now, so based on that FIFO process, Salesforce is going to be collecting that job and it will be executing here. And then we will be getting that email notification automatically by default. So now the same process will be keep on continued till the next 2 years. Okay, till the next 2 years, every day the job will be running at morning at 2 o'clock. It will be sending that notification back to you. In that one, we can able to write this. Okay. In that one, we have to write that particular piece of code. Okay. This is the way we are going to be implementing the scheduling process inside your Salesforce instance. This is the concept of scheduling the batch jobs or any of the Apex class inside your Salesforce instance.
On the same time, can we run multiple schedule jobs?
Multiple also, no problem, no problem. On the same time, we can schedule multiple. That means on that same time, what will happen? All these jobs will be pushing into the queue. Then based on the first come, first serve order in the queue, Salesforce will execute those jobs. It will send the notifications to immediately. Okay. There is no limitation like that here. We can able to schedule that, okay, multiple jobs also on the same time. So now here what this scheduling process will do, on that time it will be firing that, it will be pushing that batch job into the queue. Because here inside my scheduling class, what we did, I'm going to be executing this batch job here. Previously what we did, we have executed this code from the execute anonymous window. What this code will do, now this execute batch method is going to be pushing this batch class into the queue, okay, by dividing them to the various batches of size 5. Like the similar way, we can have another scheduling class which will be scheduling another batch job will be pushing into the queue over here. So that here on the same time multiple schedulings will be getting run and which are pushing the respective classes into the queue, and then queue will be taking care of that based on that first come first serve order. Okay. So this is the concept of scheduling process inside your Salesforce instance.
Firoz,
Yes.
I do have one doubt. Suppose if I have scheduled a job 2 a.m. in the morning. Suppose
Okay.
if I want to reschedule the same job for let's say 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock.
Then at
Can
that
I
time
do
we
that?
have to, yes, we can do that. We can go to that job, you will be having that manage option.
Okay.
Go to the scheduled jobs over here, click on manage, and then we can able to change that schedule over here. Instead of 2 o'clock, we can able to reschedule for 3 o'clock also. Depends upon
Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
Okay. So this is the concept of scheduling process over here inside your Salesforce instance. So in the next one will be the triggers.
Other the schedule jobs?
No, we can't add the schedule jobs here. There is no process to add the schedule job because these are not in the flex queue. These are in the Apex queue directly. These are pushing into the Apex queue. So in the Apex queue, we can't. There is no concept of reordering. Only in the flex queue we can able to reorder that.
I mean, if we have scheduled jobs on the same time, and in that time we can't schedule on order.
No, we can't do that. There is no reordering option in that Apex queue. Only in the flex queue we can able to reorder.
Okay.